Would you recommend the Democrat Party sit down and have a discussion with you and learn how they lost the male vote? They would never do it, but would I recommend it? Well, yes, I would, especially for my fees. The election revealed a lot of problems with this country and the liberals. Okay, so I agree, Uncle Luke. I would love to. The thing is, is I've had sit down talks with guys like Dr. Richard Reeves. In fact, he was the reason he was on the Dr. Phil show with me that one time is because I suggested to the producers that they have him on there. I wanted to have more of a conversation about some more like substantive stuff on that show, which was stupid because it's Dr. Phil and they just care about entertainment value, right? Michael Sartain and myself invited Dr. Richard Reeves to come to Vegas, and he did. He accepted our invite. We had a very civil, really great. I thought it was a fantastic episode and a show, and I want him to come back, especially now that Trump's in office, and not to gloat or anything, but like just to sort of like kind of gauge where his mind is at, because I think when you look at guys like Scott Galloway, honestly, Scott Galloway, I think is far more lost than Dr. Richard Reeves. And I think Dr. Richard Reeves understands the problems and he diagnoses the problems pretty accurately. It's just his prescriptions and his cures for them are so rooted in this liberal, wokesy, egalitarian, he still seems to think this, that to empower men and to bring men back up to sort of parity with women, that it doesn't have to be a zero-sum game. We can do that without disadvantaging women. Where the problem is the reason why we got women to the point where they're at right now is because we disadvantaged men. Is exactly the reason. In fact, that was a tenet of the militant feminism of the 1970s, the early 70s, was to achieve equality means necessarily that you have to disadvantage men so you can get equality for women. It was part of Betty Friedan and Gloria Steinem's charter. We have to disadvantage men so that women can become more equal. Well, now they're far more equal than men are, right? I mean, we're at the point right now where it's become even unignorable to the left that men's problems are going to become serious issues if something is not addressed. That's why Dr. Richard Reeves is in the position he's in right now for the the Council on Boys and Men for the government. I don't even know what the hell the title is, right? But again, it's the right diagnosis. It's the right he understands the problem, but he just doesn't know the prescription. And the prescription is this, the left will never solve the problems of men and women until they can accept the fact that men and women are fundamentally different. That they are physically, biologically, evolutionarily, neurologically, down to the fucking cellular level, different than women. And once you've accepted that, then you can go, okay, now we can actually create some sort of functional, I don't say cure, but some sort of program or some way to sort of progress and move on based on the fact that men have different needs than women do. And it's not the reason why they're still banging their heads against the wall. The reason why they lost the election is because they thought that the solution was either to ignore men or to, in some way, repress voices such as my own or Aaron Clary, MTR, all the guys on the freaking on the watch list, right? Was in some way to limit our ideas. Limit the information and the education that we've been giving out faithfully, in my case, for 20 plus years, right? That was their solution. Shut him up. Close him off. Mike was 100% right about this. Is a wokesy mindset and a wokesy policies and wokesy issues and everything else cannot exist unless there is censorship. Because if I can say and provide you with some sort of tangible, rational, cogent argument that completely destroys your argument, the only way your stupid ideology is maintainable is if you shut me up. And that's exactly what they did. That's what they're still continuing to do right now. And trust me, they will do it in the future because their understanding of human nature is fundamentally flawed. And it's time we start waking up to shit like this. And I'm kind of glad you brought this up. when I've talked in the past about like Marxism or communism, I don't get into like politics like this, but I have gotten into the sort of parity between feminism and like what became like socialism or became communism. Socialism seems like a good idea to women because it kind of reflects that communitarianism that comes naturally to them. As I said before, women organize society in the round. It seems like everybody getting equal seems like a great idea for women who are, for all intents and purposes, the victim class sex, or at least the more insecure sex. Women are always looking for security. They want long-term security. They want, if the world is a very chaotic and dangerous world, and they need men to ensure their rights with violence. They need men to ensure their security and their safety and the safety of their offspring as well. They have to find, they can only rely on men. And the thing is, Mike's brought this up before, and I kind of feel like I kind of need to correct Mike a little bit on this. And he's not the only one to bring this up. I think I've heard even Destiny talk about this as well. We don't need strong men anymore. Women shouldn't be like in an egalitarian world that is built upon the dictates of social constructionism. We don't need strong men anymore. You don't need Tren, you don't need fucking T-Pro, you don't need TRT, you don't need any of this stuff, because now we all have Glocks. Yeah. We can kill the saber-toothed tiger. Boom, gone. Okay, that's all we needed, right? So women should no longer be attracted to muscle-bound dudes or guys who look like a younger Brad Pitt. We no longer need guys like Andrew Tate. We no longer need guys like Justin Waller. Although women still can't help the compulsion of wanting to put their number on the fucking restaurant table and wanting to fuck him. That's what's the difference there? Shouldn't that woman be using her rational cognitive brain and think, well, you know what? He's very muscle bound, but we don't need muscles anymore. We have shotguns now. Women aren't thinking this, because that is fucking social constructionism. That is expecting women to to police their innermost fucking, arousal cues for guys like that. Well, she shouldn't. That's irrational. We have weapons now. Because the only reason in our ancestral past that women were attracted to guys with lots of muscles was because they could kill the saber-toothed tiger, or they could keep the invading tribes out, or they could go and use that muscularity to go kill the woolly mammoth or the caribou or whatever and bring the meat back to the tribe. We don't need that anymore. We have Burrito Supremes at Taco Bell right now, and we have shotguns, and we have automatic weapons, and we've got missiles, and we got everything else. So why would we need any of that? It's okay, Mr. Modern dude. You can just be some skinny weesh dude, and she should instinctively still want to fuck you, right? Because it's not about what's outside, it's what's on the inside. No, it's not. And anybody saying that, like, I can point this out to you by the fact that the one dude who in that last video gets 800 matches and God knows how many gold super matches as a result of that, based on one criteria. how good looking he is. Well, that's illogical. They shouldn't want that guy because we have guns. No, that's what they want to get. What they want to fuck that guy because he's good looking, because he's muscular, because he's got the symmetrical face, he's got the jawline going. He's not a chin cell. Yes, I mean, sure. By the way, I've heard this so many times, and I'm going to pick on Destiny a little bit here because Destiny will talk about this stuff too. Well, women should be like crazy attracted to a guy like Destiny, right? I mean, like no body. Was it Wes Watson? Looks like a garbage bag. Yes, like they should be lining up around the block. Apparently, they were, right? To fuck Destiny. As long as you have autism, I guess you're right. Or you're crazy in BPD, like Lauren Southern. But then again, Lauren Southern did fuck Andrew Tate, has fucked Tommy Robinson, has fucked apparently Paul Joseph Watson. When those two aren't the best example, but yeah. So the idea that women will somehow police their evolutionary like firmware to want to fuck muscular guys is like the Chippendales. Hell, half of the girls on the show were saying, "Hey, Chippendales is right over there." Yeah, because they want to fuck a good-looking dude, and it's that they don't think it's not like they're going, we have shotguns now. Do I really need a muscular guy? Yes, with a 12-inch too. Yes, that's what they want. Just sorry, I don't mean to be too flippant with your question there, Uncle Luke, but the problem that liberals are always going to have is, first of all, it's based on female psychology, I should say. Democratic, liberal, progressive, political, the way that democratic progressives would organize society is identical to the way that women would organize society. In a communitarian thing, everybody gets it. We're going to redistribute your wealth. We're open borders, because wouldn't it be great if we all could just get along and just open? We wouldn't need borders anymore. We wouldn't have to have a border patrol. We just let everybody come in and we can all just be who cares about national identity? Who cares about national culture? Who cares? Like, if you look at Poland right now, they care about it. Trust me. But apparently, because we're the United States, we're not allowed to do that, right? Or if it's in Western Europe, you're not allowed to do that. And really, a lot of those policies stem from collectivism, stem from communitarianism, which is a female way of organizing society. Women tend to be socialists. They tend to be like communists, for lack of a better term. I'm not saying that they're actually communists. I'm just saying that that's the mentality that leads to that, for sure. Because there's strength in numbers. Women prioritize security over personal freedom. They will sacrifice personal freedom if that means that they can have some sort of security. And of course, I forget was it Benjamin Franklin who said, if people who would sacrifice personal freedom for security deserve neither. And so you deserve neither of those. But anyways, I would love to talk to Richard Reeves. I would love to talk to the progressive wokesies, but if I thought that they would actually have a rational, reasonable conversation about stuff like this. But the problem is when you get into those conversations, they're starting from a female emotional center and not a masculine rational center, empirical center. And that's why I have characterized it as such, is that what we're looking at right now when it comes to politics is men versus women. All politics are gender politics right now. And how is that expressed? It's expressed in the conflict between emotionalism versus empiricism. Men tend to be more empirical. Women tend to be more emotional. In fact, almost entirely emotional. Women tend to lead with emotion. Men, given their natural instincts, according to their natural innate evolutionary firmware, lead with reason and rationality. And then once they have solved the problem, then they sort out how they felt about that problem. Women, on the other hand, lead with emotion and then use reason to solve the problem. How do I feel about this? Oh, no. Or it doesn't have to be, oh no, they could be overjoyed. It could still be happiness, right? I mean, however the emotion plays out, right? For men, it's like, how do I solve the problem? How do we rationally, reasonably, empirically solve this problem? Then, how did I feel about the problem? Women is, how do I feel about the problem? And now from that point, I'm going to see how I got my emotions in check. Now we're going to go and find out how we're going to solve the problem. Ladies, what should we do? And then, of course, they take a consensus. And by that time, guys already have it figured out.